Three, two, one. Three, two, one. Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. I am your host, as always, Brandon K, and this is a real show. Today, we're on here. My good friend, entrepreneur, eBay salesman, online retailer, storage unit flipper, Stephen Lynch.
Thanks for having me. Good to finally be on the show.
Exactly. I've been inviting on. I invited you on the show very early on, but I didn't have a real good idea for you until I got to E for eBay, because
Okay.
you're the man with the eBay sales.
Well, you're doing it alphabetically. I know that.
When we get to G, I'm thinking garage sales. Do you ever go garage sailing?
No, they happen on the weekends.
And you are already at the swap meet.
I'm already at the swap meet.
So that's something for the audience to know: is you sell at the swap meet and you sell on eBay. You're gone.
Yeah. Sometimes I check out the aftermath of a garage sale. I look at the freebie alerts. There's an app called Freebie Alerts, and there's they'll just drop an address, say curb alert, and it's whatever didn't sell, and I'll go pick through it. People buy random junk at the swap meet. I never know. They're so unpredictable what they want.
And there it is, like a good tip and trick right out of the gate is, what was it called? Freebie alerts.
Freebie alerts. It's an app that you type in your zip code and set a range that you're willing to pick stuff up. And I would recommend that be ready immediately. Once you open it up, be ready to depart your house immediately to pick stuff up, because things go quick if it's any good.
Because could we call them scavengers? There's people who just want pick that stuff up real quick.
I am a scavenger, yes.
You are also a scavenger. Let's see. So, this is a question. Jeff Jaw was in the house. He says, "Are there a lot of scammers?" So, at the swap meet or on eBay, or where do you find the scammers?
The most common scammer of the scammers I've experienced, and it's just a hunch really, is anybody who buys a ceramic item on eBay. I would be careful of shipping any ceramic item, because what can happen, and other people will tell this to me anecdotally, is that people will break, say, a cookie jar, from the 70s. They'll find one on eBay, get it to their home, and then take a picture of their broken one. And then eBay will side with them. They'll say, oh, it was broken during shipping. And there's no recourse. So I've had
from buying ceramics or selling ceramics or buying ceramics?
Selling ceramics.
Yeah, stay away from
buying a ceramic. If you break one, you can just go to eBay and say that take a picture of a broken one and then say that it broke.
I guess Jeff's question was, are there scammers on the Freebie Alerts app?
No.
I mean there's people giving away stuff for free, so
so there's sometimes somebody will list something that they actually want money for, but that's just a wrong listing, not a scam. I've not had anybody I roll up to the curb, and I've not had anybody hit me in the back of the head for that. You'd be more concerned with scammers when you're trying to sell an item on OfferUp or buying an item on OfferUp. Always check the box. We've all heard the story of someone buying a PlayStation and there's actually bricks and books in the box, and then that kind of stuff. But freebie alerts, they're just trying to get rid of stuff that takes up space.
You got any more for the list? Freebie alerts? Is there some other names?
Well, actually, freebie alerts is great. There's of course Craigslist's free section. Freebie alerts is actually a great one because it has OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace all consolidated onto one list.
I did not know that. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's basically keeping an eye on both of those sites so that you don't have to bounce from one site to the other, and it'll just take, a Facebook Marketplace. You click on I want to talk to this person. It'll take you to the Facebook Messenger, and you can open up a conversation with them.
So
Go ahead.
I've gotten to work with you a lot at the swap meet and talk to you a lot about how you make it happen. But my question is, like, when did you get into wanting to sell stuff at the swap meet, and where did it all start for you?
I bought 2 large pallets of shoes, and they were selling relatively well on eBay. I was getting about $45 a pair of these shoes. They were like some moccasins. But I wasn't selling them quick enough, and I'd put a lot of money into them. So I wanted to increase the sales pace in order to just, liquidate, get the money out of them as fast as I could. And the idea of the swap meet close by, I'm like, oh, okay, it's only $50 for a space. I've got a pickup truck. Let's do it. And I learned my lesson. I hate selling shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine on eBay. If you have got a pair of size 10.5 Nikes or something cool, you just put it out there, put it on a shelf, and it's all good. But the pain of trying to sell shoes to people in real life, because people are very finicky about their fashions. If you run out of a size, the swap meet where I operate is largely Vietnamese, and they have size 6 feet, all of them. So once you're out of size 6, they're all going to come up to you and go, do you have size 6? And you have this pain of losing a sale, even though you don't have that item, and you got all these other sizes. So from size, say, 8 to 10, all the way up to 8 to 11, there's 6 sizes. And if there's wide sizes, now double that. Now there's 12 different sizes for people to pick from. And then, so I learned my lesson with shoes. It can be good, but it can also be quite painful, because just the pain of watching someone spend 10 minutes trying shoes on and not find the one that they're looking for, and then they leave.
So then you aim to go for the opposite of shoes, something that does not have sizes. So what is your advice on, what to pick, what to sell?
At the swap meet, kitchen stuff, yard, decorative stuff, like you got those shelving, just anything for the yard. People love to decorate. They go there. They already bought their air fryer if they needed one. They paid full retail for it. But anything that is universal, like even shirts. There's too many sizes. So you're going to have a size small to extra large, and people are going to go, do you have double XL? Do you have extra small? Do you have baby sizes? So anything with sizes can be a pain in the butt. I was selling socks for a while. I got some socks through a closeout wholesale deal, and I was grateful that when anybody asked, what size? Oh, what size fits most?
Sure. Yeah. Well, they usually have like 5 to 11 or like 6 to 13 or something, much larger range of who they're going to fit.
That's why you say most.
Sure. Yeah. So, and then when you have collectibles, you put that stuff more on eBay. But when you have stuff that like pretty much anybody will buy for a decent price, you take it to the swap meet.
Yes. And today even, I got out of work and I went to Goodwill, and I found 2 different items that I'm pretty confident will sell.
What were the items?
A Betty Boop Monopoly board.
Nice.
Still in plastic.
I heard those Monopoly boards are like what we should be looking for.
They can be. If you go to Goodwill or Salvation Army, you should always hit the game board section.
And Steven taught me a trick on the eBay, which is that there's a button where you can take a picture of something and it will literally pull up all the listings. It's like a Google image search, and it immediately pulls up how much something is worth, how much it's selling for at eBay at that moment. So did you do that for the Monopoly game and see how much it was going for?
Well, it's not what it's going for. It's what people are trying to sell it for.
Yes,
So
and
that's one of the things you got to be wary of, because people will find this same game board and have it listed at $65. And on my phone, if I really, care, was really being careful, I could go through a different website, different app. I forget the name of it, but it's like, what's it worth kind of thing. And that'll actually show you what that board sold for.
right.
That's the most important number in the end, is what things sell for, not for what people want to sell them for. There is a big difference. So that game board, most listings I saw for anywhere from 65 to 49. I'm not gonna get greedy. I just want to make this quick sale, and just, I'm going to list it at $40, see how many people look at it over a couple days, and then change the price based on that. If a lot of people are looking at it, I'll keep it the same at $40. If not a lot of people are looking at it, I'll lower the price significantly, just to get some cash flowing. And
So you,
then yeah, go ahead.
so you looked it up, and I don't know if you're finished, if there was more to that, but how much was the board worth? How much do you think it's going to be?
I spent $10 on it. I'm going to sell it for likely $40 to $45. It's going to cost me about $8 to $12 to ship, minus eBay's fees. So I'm going to double my money, and not have to work hard on it. And I'll probably profit like $20. And that's okay. Sometimes it's not just about making all the money in the world. I've done really well on game boards. I found a game called Fast Food Magnate, and it had it had German wording on the back. It was still sealed. I listed it. After researching it, I listed it at $170. I spent $10 on it, and I sold it within 24 hours.
It's great. It's always nice to sell stuff fast too.
Oh my, yes. Turning an investment into cash immediately is amazing. It's a great feeling.
So, what was the second item you found at the
A hat.
a hat?
Yeah, just it was a nice looking wool hat with a good brim on it, and it was a desirable brand. There's only one other. Somebody has an auction for it. They started the listing price at $44 on this auction, and I don't know how many days it has left. I just know that if someone starts an auction, if that person has any experience, and I wasn't able, if I brought my laptop with me to the Goodwill, I could do a lot more research on these items.
Does anybody watch you at the Goodwill, like, to see if you're scavenging, or do they?
I can tell when there's someone else doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
But
they don't stop you. Like, none of the employees would stop you, right?
No, they just want the sale. They don't care.
So kind of, I know I interrupted you when you were about to tell how you go to the swap meet and your process, and Jeff is also addressing that, which is, so Steven looks for super obscure things that kind of jump out at him. Is that kind of what you do at the swap meet?
Kind of. Well, the super obscure, obviously this one particular specialty game board, Betty Boop Monopoly. It was still sealed, and that's when you take a quick look at it. Now, anything modern Star Wars, they're still making the stuff.
Right.
It's not going to go for much, but
episode 1 and before, it hasn't jumped up in price yet.
Yeah, we got to wait 20 years for that to go up, and it still needs to be sealed, and it's not worth storing all that stuff. So some obscure stuff like brass statues, yes.
Listen close. Brass statues.
Old wooden tool, like farm stuff, fishing gear. Because we got the fishermen go to the swap meet. They all go to the swap meet. Like, They don't want to go to Bass Pro Shop and spend money top dollar on this stuff. They know that there's people like me who buy storage units and find just a handful of fishing lures, and they, you know, most people at the swap meet, they just want to get rid of it. They want to move it so they can buy another storage unit.
We'll get to that too about all the storage unit stuff. Jeff had another question. Oh, Jeff. Oh, T is on the line, but Jeff says, seems like you have an instinctive sense with identifying the items, and this is what he wants to know how to do. So, have you built that up over time?
Over time, but it's trial and error. You'll find like a little geisha doll, handmade in Japan in the 70s, made out of like just leftover fabrics in a glass box, and think it looks really cool. You'll click on on your eBay app on your phone, take a picture of it, see that people are trying to sell it for 50, 60 bucks. And then you get it home after you spend the money on it, and then you realize that not one has sold for more than $12 in the last 3 years.
Right.
So you just put it on the shelf, and it's a part of your house decoration. It's cool. And then there's times where it doesn't exist anywhere on the internet. You look for it, you research it, and you have this good feeling that somebody is looking for it. And you'll research, nobody's sold it in years on eBay, so there's no data on it. I had that experience with an old Snoopy poster. I bought it for $12. I sold it for $80. It was a big Snoopy poster that was framed. It was the little bird trying to kick a football, and it just said, "Think big."
Woodstock?
Yeah, Woodstock, the little bird, yeah. And Woodstock was trying to kick a football, and it's ridiculous, and it just said in big letters, "Think big." I was able to sell that for $80 or $70 or whatever. I spent $12. Shipping was $12. So about $50 profit on that item. And there was one guy that needed it. And that's all it takes is
there's a whole line of people for that, but he was just the first one to snap up on it.
Yeah, exactly. That he was the first one to have checked eBay for that specific poster that within that short period of time of me listing it. I had that similar experience with a storage unit. I found these old 1978 McDonald Land Mayor McCheese citizenship things so you could become a McDonald's Land citizen. They made all these little tiny like flyer things.
McDonald's is definitely worth something.
Some, not all.
Well, let's hear it. How many did you find?
I found a pile of 700 plus of these little flyers in a storage unit. And within 36 hours of listing them, I was hit up with somebody going, "How many of them do you have?" And we brokered a deal where I got $500 out of them. And, I only paid $200 for that specific storage unit. So I had my immediate profit from that storage unit, where everything I was able to sell at the swap meet, I could sell for $1, $2. I don't have to be greedy. I just need to get rid of the rest of it.
I got another
question I just saw.
Yeah, Jeff is firing off with the questions. I imagine certain things like McDonald's or Disney, for example, are super saturated with collectors, meaning high demand.
Oh my, yes. Like 2 years ago, I found these binders. They were Disney pin binders, and apparently I don't know anything about Disney, but because we live in the Orange County area and Disneyland's 10 miles north of us, there's a lot of Disney merchandise that just ends up at the Goodwill or whatever. People will buy it at Disneyland, never open it, and then they die. Their family contributes it to the Goodwill, and then I buy it for $5 to $8 and clean up. There was these pin binders for when you collected pins. You put the pins in the thing.
Those are like $9 each. If you ever found a whole binder full of those are like worth like $9 each, aren't they? I'm probably going up in value over time.
over time, and there's certain pins that are harder to get, but the binder themselves, it was from the mid 90s. It was leather bound, made in Taiwan, not China. And I sold one for an immediate $70.
Yeah.
The second one I sold for 50.
How about the
So
pins themselves? Did you get much for them?
no, it had no pins. The binder, it was just the binder with no pins. But the binder itself was intact, still in plastic. And I made about $120 before fees and all this other stuff and shipping, which amounted, we'll just say the fees and shipping was about $30. So $80 of profit from, two binders, two books.
It's awesome. I got another question. I got a special guest here on the show with questions for you because he's going into the selling business. Nick joined us.
Good to see you, Nick.
What up, Steven? What's up,
Nick
Brandon?
and I got to plug Steven's business too here, but Nick's business is Happy Picks by Mia. We'll put the link down at the bottom, and he bought a whole bunch of makeup and he's selling it on Etsy.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, Steven, dude, you're super knowledgeable, and I thought you were doing more of the brick and mortar route, but it sounds like you do the e-com internet route as well. So would love to pick your brain more on that, man. But yeah, Mia and I just started. We basically opened an Etsy shop, and first of all, Steven, what are your thoughts on the mystery boxes for different products right now? Have you heard? Have you?
I've seen those. I've done that, and actually, you could do pretty well. I haven't done it for a little while. You're at risk of cherry picking and counterfeit items. You're going to get counterfeit items. Thankfully, eBay is very good about when you list a counterfeit item, they don't hold it against you too much unless you do it habitually. They'll go, hey, this item looks like it's counterfeit. You can't sell it. So I found like fake Cartier bracelets, a hair straightener from a certain brand.
So some clarification. You were buying mystery boxes, Steven, or selling them?
I bought them.
And then Nick is selling them.
Okay. Well, if you're not
got a pallet full of stuff and he's making mystery boxes and selling them.
Okay.
Making the mystery boxes. Correct. Well, yeah, no, I was just curious. Well, you've purchased them, so that's a good sign that you were curious what could be, in there, and that you were interested in purchasing it. What mystery box did you buy? Like, what did they advertise could be in there, Steven?
It was basically just an Amazon return pallet.
Got it.
Yeah, just random stuff.
Got it.
Now, the thing is that anybody who does the large scale Amazon return pallets, if they're breaking down the pallet, they cherry picked. They took the good stuff that'll sell for top dollar, and they're reselling it. So you're actually better off, if you're going to buy a mystery thing, better buy the large pallet that just showed up from Amazon, and just buying, that they do not have the manpower to have picked out of that pile. Because there's a lot of people that literally they'll receive a container ship of those pallets, break them down, pick the good stuff, and then make a bunch of random, Gaylord, those watermelon boxes kind of thing. That's called a Gaylord. So they'll make a whole bunch of bins like that out of the Amazon pallets. And that they found the $8,000 cutting board and sold it. Yes, some cutting boards people will pay $8,000 for, and then they'll return it.
Thanks for letting me know about just your insight on that, because that was definitely relevant, and it makes sense that that's how it goes. So yeah, Mia and I, so we only have an Etsy shop right now, and I know, so Etsy's market is basically it's a woman market. Okay, I'm not being sexist.
It's largely women, yeah.
It's like 70 or 80% women or who purchase from Etsy. You have to add some type of personalization to it. So in Etsy, they want you to build it or at least somehow customize it with your own time to kind of give it your own signature approach. So I figured like people on Etsy, they don't want to buy like name brand resold stuff like maybe on Amazon or Craigslist. They want these like specific creative, meant tailored for them packages. So at first, and we're doing all right. So it's month 2 so far. The first month we pushed, I think we had like 15 to 20 sales. A lot of them were my friends and family. So it's my own network supporting me, which was obviously kind of easy with like just people wanting to be friendly. But then the internet and the SEO did start to get a hold of it a bit. And we've got probably about 13 random people now. And it's funny. So what we did, Steven, at first, we ordered a makeup box. So a mystery palette. That's what we did on our first round was we're like, all right, let's just order a giant palette, see what's in there, and then we'll break it down and essentially sell it for more in mystery boxes. But like you said, Steven, which we learned from the first palette, a lot of it was shit. I'd say 70 or 80% of it was workable. And then 20 or 30% of it, and this was all makeup products. So that's the market that Mia, my partner, she's a shopaholic. She buys a ridiculous amount of makeup and different, cosmetics. So she knows the market really, really well. And I'm kind of just learning from her and kind of I have a business degree. So I'm using my business degree, but she picked the product. But yeah, so then I came up with the idea. I was like, well, then how about we just make our own mystery boxes and know exactly what we're going to put in the mystery box. So rather than ordering a mystery box ourselves and then breaking it down, why don't we order like a shit ton of different products, like 10 of this product, 20 of that product, 20 of that. And then we could customize our own mystery boxes and know the exact margins.
You can find on Happy Picks is you guys got some really great stuff in there, and you're posting it out there for everybody to buy, and people are giving you good reviews, right?
So far, so good. The only thing is eventually people are going to get the same products. So then we're going to have to figure out how to expand, from that. But yeah, I mean, so far it's so good.
You could do batches. You could advertise a new batch every quarter or something like that. Out of curiosity, what is the percentage that Etsy gets out of you whenever you make a sale?
It's not bad, Steven. You may want to look into it, dude. So they take sorry, I'm driving and I'm all over the place. I'm
gonna let you go after you answer this question. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go back to Steven, but go ahead and answer.
6%. It's 6%. Okay, 6% per transaction. 20 cents to post the listing, and then they have optional marketing in there. Well, you could decide how much you want to spend on the marketing, and then just your own shipping, Steven. So that's it. It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Check it out, man. Check it out.
If you need to ship anything, is there a lower rate that you pay for shipping, or go ahead.
That was its own beast that we had to. I'm learning all about shipping, dude. So that's its own
pirate ship.
What? I'm sorry, pirate ship.
Pirate ship. It's basically you'll save 40% off of your shipping through UPS or USPS right off the bat.
Really?
Yeah, and you're still going to get the same tracking numbers and all that, so you can submit that information through Etsy, and you'll save 40% off your shipping. eBay has its own brokerage. Yes. eBay has its own system, so you save about the 40% off of regular rates.
Thank you for that. And any tools and technology, dude, that you're utilizing, all ears. Pirate ship. I'm absolutely going to download that. If you get on the Etsy, there's one called Toof AI, TOOF. I don't know. I think it's mainly for Etsy SEO, and it'll give you a rating on how good your listing and shit is. But check it out too, Steven. It's called Toof, TOOF.ai. And it's
all right, I'm gonna let you get back to driving, Nick, and stay on the StreamYard if you got time, and I'll get you back on here in a minute after I talk to Steven some more.
Yeah, sounds good for sure. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you, Nick.
So you can see he's psyched about his online retailing business.
Oh yeah, and it's good that he's got his partner in it.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like a good match of makeup and business, and
And she can have all the makeup she wants now.
dude. So you got into the question I wanted to ask you about, even what he's talking about, and what you do on eBay is like, how do you market? How do you get people to find what you're posting?
Well, one trick is emulation or ripping off other people's listings.
Yeah, I like.
Emulation is a much nicer way of saying it and phrasing it.
Yeah.
But you type in what you think the item is, and then actually eBay is very easy for this. You could literally find that item you're trying to sell, find the listing that's up front, like that popped up right off the bat, click on it, and then under the picture on your PC, it'll say, do you have one like this? Sell it now. And you just click on that. They've even made it super easy. You don't even have to type in a description, and AI will do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I like to add a little bit more to it because AI is dry and not very pleasing to read. So, you add a little quip that makes it so that it's got a little bit of your own personality in it. So a person feels like they're buying from another human being. And that's it. Just take good pictures, have good lighting.
Sorry, you were giving your advice. Go ahead.
Have good lighting, have a good background, and clean the grease off your camera lens, and you'll get good photos of that item. People want to see good pictures. You don't really want to use pictures of that. Say you have an item that's very common, like a waffle iron or whatever, and you could just easily grab the pictures off the internet. No. They want to see the one that they're buying that you took pictures of.
Yeah.
So no generics if possible.
And then, like, as far as SEO, search engine optimization, do you think eBay, like, when you do a search for something on eBay, do they just go by the title, or do they go from stuff in your description as well? Do you know?
The title.
So yeah. A lot of it has to just come down to the title, right? When it comes to.
It really does. I've never typed in something that would be in the description and seen the description come up. It's always in the headline. You get 80 characters to write down, and that's everything you're going to get. You could actually type into Google and find stuff. eBay is very good about their search engine optimization. So you type in the description of an item, and it will, if it's on eBay, it'll pop up in one of the first 3 to 5 listings.
You were saying Google, like what? So your description and SEO would be important so that people could find it through Google for eBay.
Yeah. So if I want to say I have a waffle iron, I'll use that as an example of a certain brand. I'll type it, especially a retro one or something like that. I can just type it into Google, and it will show me the eBay listings for it. If there's an Etsy listing, Etsy's very good about that too. I see a lot of things that to answer the question I see on the screen there, you don't have to preface it with eBay. You can. It never hurts, but you don't have to.
Are you going to be finding other eBay type places where you could also, but are there, like, what are the other, Amazon, Etsy?
Amazon, Etsy, especially, like Nick said, there's a lot of lady type stuff, makeup.
It's all specific, like they want a certain shade and a certain brand. And
yeah, and Etsy does have an emphasis on some level of either branding or you made it yourself, lesser so than Pinterest. Pinterest is for like crochet and buttons and that kind of stuff, while Etsy, to go on Nick's point, is more you build your own brand. So he could literally rebrand half the items in the box just by putting a label on them a certain way, and that would be good enough for Etsy.
So I wanted to go back about the shoes. Is that you found out that shoes weren't gonna work for you? You eventually just sold them all at the swap meet?
Yeah, I got rid of them. I have a couple of oddballs that hang out at the swap meet. And one of them is this old Vietnamese man in his 70s that you'll see him at the end of the day picking through piles of free stuff and finding vases or small buckets. And he goes home and puts succulents in them, hardly waters them. They're not thriving plants. And then he, goes back to the swap meet and puts them on friendly people's tables and harasses anybody walking by. Hey, this plant, $5. And I don't know if these plants survive. I'm not optimistic for them, but he's an opportunist. So I approached him one day about, hey, I've got like 300 pairs of these shoes I want to get rid of. I'll take $1 a pair. I don't care. I want them gone. I want space for other things. So he gave me like $300 for 300 pairs of shoes. And then when it came time to pay me, he only had 250, even though we agreed on 300. And I had already loaded them into his garage. And
I was gonna make that as a joke, and like, oh yeah, you wanted 300, he gave you like 50 or something. No, he only shorted you 50.
Yeah, he's cute like that.
What happens on offer up too is like I sold a car on there, and it's like I had whatever 2,000. It's like once they get there and you get the car all ready to go and out the door, and then they're like, oh yeah, I only have 1,900, and then you're like, okay, well, I just want this to be over with, so go ahead and you get the discount. You get the offer up discount today.
Well, did you try the back shoulder effect?
What's that?
It's when you show someone the back of your shoulder, like, I don't fucking care, I'm out of here. That's a no, and you start walking away.
In this case, I was on a time limit because I was in Vegas. I had to get back to California. I needed it sold, so I kind of had my balls in a vice on that day. But in general, yeah, you don't want to be meeting up with people, and it's just such a hassle to meet up with somebody, and then they're like, oh, I only have 250, and they agree to 300.
And they're relying on that. That's why you never give information like, I'm leaving town.
Right.
Or I'm joining the military, or oh, I only have a very short opportunity to sell this, and I'll I want $300. Yeah. Well, oh my God, you're just inviting them to offer you $100.
Yeah,
they'll take advantage of you fully. So you show them your back shoulder and that same. Never give that kind of information, and the old back shoulder effect where, okay, I guess this sale isn't going through, and you show them the back of your shoulder, and you're like, okay, I'll see you later. And oh wait, I do have $2,200.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten to do that a lot at the swap meet because it's always a back and forth push and pull with people trying to talk you down to the lowest amount, and you're like, no, you stand strong, and then they come up or they leave or whatever. But yeah.
Oh well, the back shoulder works on me too. I'll say 5, they say 3. They start walking away. I say 4. I'm willing to go down a little bit. Come on, give me the money.
That's a little bit about the offer up sales. We got a question here to the next part of the story, which is the storage unit flipping. I'm very interested in this topic whenever you want to discuss. So did that come later for you? You were already selling stuff. You were selling pallets at the swap meet, selling freebie stuff off what's it called? Freebie alerts, picking up stuff off the side, wherever you could find it. And then eventually you started to invest in storage units. Yes.
I started that about 6 months ago.
My dad has been into storage units forever. That was always his dream. And even because that show Storage Wars was filmed here in Orange County, he was like, they offered him to be on the show or whatever early on, allegedly. But like the Storage Wars kind of blew up like about 10, 15 years ago. Or what year is it? Yeah, like 2010. Like, because the show and everything. But did you hear about it from the show?
No, just other swap meet vendors. I didn't even. You could take one look at them and know what the hell they're doing. Mm-hmm. And at one point, actually, in what really pushed me over the fence, I didn't want to do it for a long time, but what pushed me over the fence was a gentleman at the Garden Grove Alano Club collected his 10-year chip, and he talked about how he sells at the swap meet. So I got his business card, I talked to him, and then he suggested it. And I started looking into it a little bit, and I realized that it wasn't for me quite yet until I had a large vehicle, because even a 5x5 storage unit, it won't all fit in the back of a pickup truck unless there's very little in it. So once I got the large vehicle, I had no choice but to try. And my first unit I spent $75 on, and I ended up coming out with about $2,500 quickly.
I was looking at the comments. Was that the one where you found the electronic equipment?
Yes. So
Yes.
actually, over my shoulder here,
Yes.
you will, or camera, that little storage light,
you got your
that little light, that light.
Does that light actually work and light up your room?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I use it as a heater and for eBay pictures.
Funny.
Certain things look better under the warm light. Other things look better under blue light. So,
from Jeff, do you limit how many units you have at a single time?
I buy like one every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm unfortunately I'm finding out the principle behind this is, in order to find gold and diamonds, and this is metaphorical gold and diamonds and actual gold and diamonds, I have to dig through a lot of dirt. I've got to move a mountain of material to find that good stuff. So I got lucky on my first unit and was able to sell some electronics for good money. But in order to find that gold and diamonds, I've got to move a lot of material.
And the truth is that, that it's grimy, it's rat infested, it's a lot of personal pictures, a lot of trash or soiled clothes or stuff like that. So like literally moving dirt, just trashing some of the stuff, and then you take a lot of the stuff to the swap meet and try to sell it for $1, anything that has a value on it.
Yes. I literally buy a brand new pair of gloves for each unit, and I throw them out at the end of each unit. Sometimes I've not had to throw them out. Most of the times I have, because there's a lot of.
And that's how you don't get hantavirus.
Whatever virus you're talking about. Yeah, I try. And when I kick up a lot of dirt, I try not to breathe it all in. I'm not a big mask guy, but there's been units where I've wished I brought masks. There was one that was completely rat infested. I still made a lot of money on it. It was only $10. And
I'd like to ask, what did you find in there that was good? Because I mean,
Kobe Bryant jerseys. There was one box.
Jeff says high risk, but it's like even a shitty unit, rat infested, like there could be like something. Go ahead. Kobe Bryant jerseys.
There was one box that had 3 Kobe Bryant jerseys in them, and I sold them for a quick $150. Cost me $10 for the unit, and less than about 4 hours to empty the unit out. And I had to find a dumpster. I have access to a dumpster. I had to fill a dumpster basically. But, I made a quick $200 plus, because there was other things in that unit. I don't even remember what they were. A bunch of small, stupid things. But I'm looking for the big ticket items. The small, stupid things, I just want them gone. Dollar here, dollar there, dollar, dollar.
I'd say in advance, it's good to know what dumpsters you're going to use, because you can get stuck with, getting in trouble for where you dump and stuff like that. So my suggestion is to know where you're going to dump.
Oh, I already know where. Yes, I have a couple dumpsters that I have explicit access to, and I'm not dumping illegally. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. If you do not have this logistic, that part of your swap meet, a storage unit flipping down, one way to there's a place up in Stanton area or whatever. It's like $75 to dump a load.
Right.
So basically, take all of your trash, every ounce of it, and then throw it out. But do it all in one run, because you don't want to have to do that again.
So here's the next question: is that Jeff asks, a unit can go as low as $10? I will answer first and say I've gotten multiple units for $10.
Yeah, that's the truth. Some units nobody bids on at all, and it'll cost you $10.
And it's either gonna look like a lot of heavy stuff, broken machinery, big stuff nobody wants to take their time on, or it's gonna look like a bunch of garbage, and no one's gonna want to have to they're gonna say like there's nothing good in that garbage, and they don't believe that it's worth the $10 risk to go dig out the Kobe Bryant jerseys.
Exactly. And you'll even get, if you buy, this happened to me a month ago. I bought a unit for $200. Nobody else in the auction bid on another unit that had a really nice couch and a mattress. So I was pestered for 2-3 days by storagetreasures.com, the website I go to for these auctions.
I was going to ask that too. Steven is buying his auctions online at Storage. What was it? Storage Treasures?
Storagetreasures.com. And so everybody that bought a unit at that particular auction was sent an offer to take the stuff out of the unit. Just take this couch and mattress. It's free. We just want to get rid of it. And I didn't want it. I didn't want to move a couch. I didn't want to go through the effort of either trying to sell this couch or donating this couch. If I had a larger home, it would have been a good couch. I would have kept it. It looked clean.
I got more questions. You're a big hit. We've had 6 people watching us this whole time, which is our record. So let's see.
Wow.
Jeff says, what is the average unit cost? I say it's between $10 and hundreds of dollars from my experience.
I've seen units go for 10 grand. I've seen units go for free.
Dude, what was in the 10 grand unit?
High-end tools and electronics.
Ironically, one of the ones I saw go for a couple thousand was like shoes. Like it would look like it was like nice shoes.
That will drive up a price if it's like Pumas or Nike, especially. But I would say the average unit goes for about $200, $200 to $400. Some go for the last unit I bought $40, and I didn't think that there was anything good, but it was worth trying it for $40. It had a desk that I knew I could break to pieces with a hammer, so I got to get some anger out, breaking this particle board desk up, and I didn't find anything that I could make $40 on, but I was able to acquire enough paper and paper clips and pens and other things like that, staples, that I will not have to spend any money at any office supply store for years.
That is what is nice about it is finding useful items. Here, Nick's on hold. Oh, I guess he left. I was just about to add him to ask a question, but he left. We got more questions from the audience here. Alan, this is my brother. He says, has anyone ever tried TikTok sales? I see that pop up on there as option from time to time. I think that's a goal for me, but I haven't done it yet.
I've seen it work. One of my associates, he was much larger scale than me. He was one of those people that bought directly from like Amazon and Target for their closeouts and whatnot. And he was pretty popular at Santa Ana through TikTok. He literally would just every day he would get a new load and he would advertise on TikTok, and he would just, while I was there in the warehouse, people would come up to him and go, "Hey, where did you find us?" "Oh, my daughter found you on TikTok."
That's the future.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I won't use TikTok. I have a moral issue with them. I think that I won't go into it, but
data collecting. Here's
no, they all data collect. But
Here's a question.
They're not a good company, and I don't trust them.
Here's what Patrick says. What's the weirdest stuff you found in a unit?
There's a lot of drug addiction evidence. There's sex toys.
Frequently, sex toys and drug paraphernalia.
Yeah, drug paraphernalia, sex toys, old photos, of just people that
creepy photos.
Yeah, just people being a tourist in Egypt, or weirdest thing, witchcraft books. And you know what the messed up thing is? When I found these books on witchcraft in one of the units I bought, I was so anticipating to find a bunch of crystals because those would sell at the swap meet like hotcakes. And no crystals, just a whole bunch of
pentagrams.
Yeah, just a bunch of weird stuff.
All right, now it's time. Nick is back. Can you hear? Can we hear you, Nick?
Hi, Nick.
Oh, I guess he's got a sound issue.
Bye, Nick.
We got another question. Large quantities of cash breaking by?
No. Oh, well, I wouldn't be living in this small apartment if I had found breaking bad quantities of cash. And yes, if I had found a mattress-sized pile of cash, I would have definitely lied down on it because I wouldn't have had any choice. I have found, old collectible, coins that I keep. So there's no interest in selling those.
I found $10 and change one time.
Yeah. The unit I bought for $10, I found about $15 in small change. So like I immediately made money on that, just in money. In one of the kid coat pockets, I found a dollar bill, nothing extraordinary yet. One day.
It's actually a custom because we live near the Vietnamese people. They put money in their clothes as for good luck.
Oh, when I have kids, I'm always going to, when they put the coat away for the winter time, I'm going to put money in the pocket. So the first time they put that coat on, they get to feel the joy of finding money in a pocket.
Here we go. We got Nick. Nick, can we hear you this time?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now.
All right, are you hearing this conversation about storage units? What are your thoughts? What are your questions?
Well, I know you've been in that game for a bit, Brandon. So it's cool that you guys are both familiar. I don't know much about it. I mean, it seems like that's true. It's a giant mystery box. Really is what it is. It's just a massive mystery box, So I guess I feel like it could be, it's kind of lucky maybe, unless I guess over time, maybe there is like a strategy to it. If you get really good, you just know how to like find amazing stuff in there, but it's something I'm not familiar with.
I compare it to Christmas morning as a kid, where some years you get a lot of underwear and socks, and then other years you get good stuff. And each time I open those doors the first time, it's literally like Christmas morning. Either I get crap or cool stuff.
Thank you, Nick. Hold on. I'm going to stick here with Steven. Do you get a rush like gambling?
I get a little excited when I find a cool thing and I can confirm that it is good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's a rush like gambling.
I found Mark McGuire.
Gambling is the most awesome feeling in the world. I'm kidding.
I found Mark McGuire. I found like a bunch of baseball cards and a Mark McGuire rookie or some shit, and then I found out that like it's worth nothing. It's almost like you look at the eBay and you do like the quick search. Someone's trying to get 10,000 for it, and maybe that one's signed or something. I was like, oh man, I found something really great, and then it was like worth nothing. And then the whole set of baseball cards that I had and was like organizing were all also worth like $5 for the whole set.
Yep.
So
it's yes, you get a small thrill from thinking that it's worth something, but the real thrill is when you research what they actually sell for and you can confirm that it sells for a lot. that is pretty sweet feeling.
Yeah, that's what the addict is chasing is the storage unit addict.
Oh yeah, well the most
could be so great, but then like when you actually have to go and sell it and get rid of it, it's a lot of work.
The only real thrill is when you hear the little thing on eBay go cha-ching, and you actually got the money. When you get the money, and then it's not over yet, because you have to ship the damn thing and wait for it to be received. And if you have returns open, you got to wait 30 days, or else that person might not like it anymore. Which I very often don't allow returns for certain things. And I'll sell certain items as is, no returns, sold as is, so that I don't have to worry for that 30-day period, because they could want that lighting board for one little dress rehearsal or whatever for their kids play. I don't know. There's a million examples. But I don't want to risk it. I'll take less money to not worry about it. Just get the money. And there's that beautiful moment where the person buys it, pays for it, and that's where the payoff is. Literally.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. And at the swap meet, all those happy faces when they find something they like, and your happy face when they hand you money.
Oh yeah, I love. There was a moment yesterday where I made 3 back-to-back sales of the double-edged razor I sell, and I just remember going, thank God, because I made, that was a decent percentage of my day, all in a 3-minute period, because that's one of my profit leaders is these razors that I sell. And I get $15 a pop, and one guy bought a brush, 2 guys bought some brushes, and that was a real quick $50 in my pocket. That took me only 3 minutes at that moment to execute. Now there's a lot of preparation prior and all that other stuff, but for 20 minutes prior to that, I didn't make a single sale or whatever, dead, busy, dead.
Yeah, and that's something, because I just go to the swap meet to try to sell stuff, but also to learn from Steven. And I noticed that he has like his big ticket items, like his razors and his can openers and his mini fridges. And so there's some advice there about picking something that is just useful and it has a good turnover, like profit. And you go and buy that stuff like for as cheap as you can get it, and then to resell it.
Yeah, the razors and the safety razors and the can opener I actually buy on Alibaba, which it takes about a month to get shipped here, and sometimes it hurts because it's like I've got $150, $400, whatever. Sometimes I have like $800 sitting on a ship and just not doing anything for me at that moment. I've just got to wait. And so it's really important to keep an eye on inventory and kind of gauge how long it's going to take to, I don't want to run out of anything. In fact, I need to expand upon the razor store, because that seems to be where the most capital is coming in.
What else is on Alibaba? Do they just have like big quantities of everything, like all kinds of like kitchen utensils and clothes, and like what all do they have on there? Everything?
I say everything. And the biggest expense with all of that stuff is the shipping. So you could import a lot of kitchen knives and get them for 50 cents a piece, but it'll cost you $2 a ship. So, and people don't spend money at the swap meet. You have to have a kind of a niche item that some people want, that they're willing to pay a premium. That's the beautiful thing about the razors, is there's an enthusiasm about them. There's certain people who only shave with a double-edged razor, and I see the look in their eye when they walk by and they see them, and they're like, "Oh shit, you have those?"
Yeah.
And it's only, I'll say it's only 1 to 2% of the population that cares about these things. Women don't care about them. If I can get women involved, then actually I should lean into that.
The razor companies did, right? Like at some point they're like, oh, women shave too, and they made them all pink, and they made a whole separate market to go sell them to women.
That's actually, yeah, I should be looking into that. When
Make
this
it-
conversation's over, I'm going, because I'm in the market for more razors in the next couple days. My inventory is getting to the point where I need to re-up soon. And it is the big winner weekly that the razors are my big ticket item. They're the largest cash flow and profit of outside of the storage unit. Really is about buying the unit and finding the good stuff, selling it on eBay or offer up, and then the rest is just about moving material, just getting space back open. I could, in theory, just take it all to the Goodwill and drop it off there and get rid of it, but there's still money locked into it. There's still value in this thing, and you know, it's a weird little situation because if I couldn't do it without a big truck, and you know, um, and I know I could up the scale.
Yeah, and I got plenty of questions of you, but for everybody watching, keep the questions coming because we're gonna go another couple minutes here. But yeah, what I was gonna say about shit, I lost my paper. Oh, here we go. So yeah, who do you have any good stories about who you see selling on eBay who's ultra successful?
First off, if you have a warehouse, you could do pretty well because you have the space to have a very large, healthy inventory. Now, I've seen people out in the middle of the boonies, like in Kentucky, that have good, successful eBay stores. There's a few ways to go about it. You can find antiques. You can buy the storage units like I do. You can clean out people's houses. You can own a junk store. You know, I mean, like uh, a junk business where you remove people's junk and then take the good stuff and sell that. There's people who, a lot of people I buy a lot of my materials, like I buy razor blades from different wholesalers in New York City. So because they're in a trade area, everything goes through New York City, and they're able to basically just get the stuff right off the ship. And
well, almost like some of these companies would buy even like off Alibaba or wherever else good deals they have. They would get like tools, like, and just sell expensive tools for the same kind of concept that you're doing right now.
exactly. Actually, yeah, you can if you do not have the expenses as a brick and mortar, because Home Depot has to pay employees, they have to pay their pensions if they have that, insurance, retail space, all this stuff. And if you have, you know, a lot of, I'm not even saying a lot of money, if you have the capital required, you could buy a large quantity of these things and sell online. Now, you're not able to sell the warranty as reliably. Some of these major retailers have the advantage of, you know, customers want a warranty. If I buy a DeWalt drill and spend $5 on a 2-year warranty, they could take the hit. While a small potatoes, most people can't afford to replace a tool on such a scale. They don't sell 100,000 of that same drill in a year or in a month or whatever. So there's different strategies to the scale. I've seen people who are very successful who specialize in just salon stuff. You know, hairspray, combs, mirrors, razors, shavers, creams, shampoos, that kind of stuff. If they do specialty, I admire them because they're able to literally commit so much time to their eBay stores that because a lot of them, their margins are really tight. I mean, unless if they got the stuff for free and they're paying the shipping and all of the eBay fees, they're only making they're shipping something out and there's like $2 of profit maybe.
Damn. Well, and they're just trying to sell a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of this materials I sell for resale, buy for resale. I buy a small little bucket. They bought a swimming pool worth, and yeah, by the time they're done selling the swimming pool, they'll have like 10, 20 grand, but it could take them years. So they have to buy multiple swimming pools if we're going to still use that metaphor. So they've got 10, 20, 50, 100 swimming pools that they've purchased in order to get that money. And, it's profitable, but very time consuming.
Here, hold on. Hey, Nick, you got any more questions for us? We're going to wrap up here.
No. I'm all good. Then I learned a lot from you. Thank you, Steven.
Oh, so you were just enjoying and hearing and yeah, you're doing the Etsy thing. Happy Picks by Mia. Go buy makeup from the Great Mystery Box. I mean, do you have any makeup right there you could show us?
Yeah, actually, check out the inventory.
There it is.
I can't believe you're not wearing any right now.
But yeah, here's some of the inventory, folks.
It's all very good looking, and it looks like something.
We packed. Sorry, I don't want to take too much time, but we sold a 10-pound box yesterday, so we're gonna pack it up here soon.
Sweet.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Use pirate ship.
Steven, thank you. I just wrote it on my whiteboard. Check it out. Pirate ship shipping.
That's good advice.
My notes to research.
The whiteboard is good advice. Thank you for joining us, Nick. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next week for Entertainment Roundup.
All right, fellas. Thanks, guys. Maybe I'll see you tonight too.
Oh yeah,
likely.
Everyone, okay. Here we go. Let's receive our praise. This was a great conversation. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your knowledge. Well, we gotta thank Steven because Steven's been doing this stuff, working hard, learning all the ins and outs of the buying and selling business on the, what do you call it? On foot and online, on the front lines at the swap meet. And I for a wrap up, I like the advice: sell as is. You don't want to be dealing with people returns ever.
No, you can, in theory, get a little bit more money if you are willing to accept returns because people feel better about it. But people, there's a reason that Amazon has a return pallet business, because people's feelings change. They'll buy a scarf and go, nah, it's the wrong shade of purple, and just throw it back in the bin and then return it. Amazon doesn't even screen their returns. They literally throw it on a pallet and wrap it up and sell it to resellers. That's actually why it's such a good business to get into for certain people before it's cherry picked, because you can find that $8,000 cutting board in that pile.
And that's why there's this is becoming the norm, where people are just buying stuff on Amazon and returning it so fast, and it's becoming like they just think, oh yeah, I'll buy it, I'll look at it and send it back. And so like half the time it doesn't have to do with whether they like it or not. They just change their mind, or they want their money back,
Yeah, they didn't even there's many people, we've all heard this about people whose significant other will buy something and they don't even remember what they bought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, that is rampant commercialism and consumerism, more consumerism than commercialism.
There are shopping addicts out there.
Everyone's got a monkey, man, and some people get that feeling of pleasure from clicking add to cart and buy, and not everything makes it to the return pile. There's a lot of unopened boxes from Amazon sitting in people's freaking houses.
And it's good news for us as long as they're not returning it. So I like the as is advice and no sellbacks, whatever you call it. But
Yeah,
sales are
as
final.
is. And well, and I always point out any flaws with anything. If something's scratched, it's in the first sentence. This item was found to be scratched during inspection and photography. It is still sold as is, no returns. So it needs to. You got to be clear about it. Make sure that your customers are happy and well informed. Sometimes they don't read the description and they still go, "Oh, it had a scratch," but I looked at the description and he said it, so he's good. I just wish it wasn't scratched. Why'd you even write that? Whatever.
Exactly. Well, thank you for your time, Stephen. As always, what is your business name? I'll put it in the comments.
The Serapis Trading Company.
Is that where we find you on eBay too? Serapis Trading Company?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're comfortable with me sharing that on the description?
Absolutely.
So anybody watching, go and check out the Serapis Trading. It'll be in the link below.
I'd much rather see you in person at the swap meet.
The Golden West swap meet every weekend.
Oh yeah, I fly a big, tall American flag. Actually, it's technically a Serapis flag. It's a unique 13-star American flag.
SEARAPIS.
Yes.
But and then we'll get. I don't know if you want people to reach out to you. We'll put your contact info in the description. And
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us, my friend.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having me.
We'll have you on again. I want to talk. We barely scratched the surface today.
Yeah, there's a lot to this iceberg.
Thank you, Steve. Have a nice day. Appreciate
you too. Thank you, Brandon.